chart. Good news is we had function rules yesterday. There was two possibilities. We could be y equals mx plus b, or remember Descartes got all fancy on us. Anna, you want to bring this home?
Pew pew.
I will.
I'll hang them on the wall.
Or he got fancy and he wrote f of x equals mx plus b. It doesn't change the meaning of y or f of x, but if you look at those charts, 5 out of the 6 have f of x. So it's just to make sure you know they really mean the same thing. M is gonna hop out and slope is gonna hop in, thank you. B is gonna hop out.
Y-intercept.
And y-intercept is gonna hop in. It's such a hard word to spell. And yesterday when we did this, on the back of yesterday's page, when we didn't have the chart, we had to make our own graph. So that's what it seems like we have to do. But good news for you coming today, I'm about to show you a shortcut. So I could go through, f of x is like y, right? And y to the sky. So these are my rise numbers. Does anyone want to write that down? I could go through and put them on the graph. I totally could. I'm going to skip this one because there's not enough room. I can put them on the graph and I can count the rise and the run and look for the y-intercept. I totally can. Or, here's a shortcut for you. If we look for that pattern, we did this another day too. Remember Harmon was a Subway sandwich artist? Made $11 per hour. 1 hour, $11. 2 hours, $22. Remember that? Same thing. So what kind of pattern is happening with all of these rise numbers? Allison?
It's going up by 6.
She says when you go down the list, you add 6 every time. Do you see that? So then what kind of pattern is happening with my run numbers? Savannah?
Add 2.
Guess what we just found?
The slope.
The slope. Because if I counted on my dots, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, run, 1, 2. So I can skip the part about graphing. Do you see how you didn't even have a graph? I can skip that if I just look for this pattern every time. So my rule, f of x equals mx plus b. M hops out. Slope hops in. What slope? Exactly.
2 over 6.
Rise 6, run 2. Rise 6, run 2. Before you write that, rise 6, run 2. You could call it just plain 3 or 3 over 1. Isabel.
How would we find the y-intercept?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked me that question. If we're making graphs, we look for the dot on the y, which looks like it's at 1. But if I'm trying not to make the graph I have to have a backup strategy. Do you see anything on the chart that might be related to this one? Do you see anything on the chart? Ellie.
It's right next to a 0.
Breaking news. I can use the chart to help me find the y-intercept because it's always the one, get it? The one that has no run. Because you don't want to go right or left. You want the point on the y-axis. You want the point on the y-axis. So the y-intercept is 1. Looking for questions. Suzanne.
I was looking at the next one and it's like 0, 0, so it's just like a 0 flat.
Savannah's learning something over here. This is crazy. She used what I just told her and she looked ahead to see what it would look like on the next one. Isn't that crazy? So she looked over here and she heard me say, if the run is 0, you can find your y-intercept, which is also okay, let's try again. She said, if the run is 0, you can use that to find the y, which is also 0. So when I'm writing my rule, f of x equals mx plus 0 this time. Which we've seen a couple problems where they just don't write that at all, which is technically okay also. But if you like it there, you go ahead and write it. Man.
Oh, I was just going to solve it.
Whoa! She used what I told her on the first one, and she's already ready for the second one. Pete, question?
Well, this isn't about the problem, but the one after it is the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
You know, it's probably number 4,972 that I made a mistake. It's okay. We'll fix it.
And the next one after that. And the next one after that, yeah.
No, I only have 2 that are the same.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. No.
It's okay. We will fix it. Maddie, tell me what you're going to say.
So for the f and x one, I got -2.
Oh, look it. She found a pattern. -2 every time.
And then for run, I got +2.
She found a pattern. +2 every time.
So I knew that the step was going to be rise -2 run.
Rise -2, run 2. Down 2, run 2. Down 2, run 2. Or down 1, run 1. Down 1, run 1. For you people who like your simplifying. M hops out. Slope pops in. Look at this. I skipped that graph altogether by using these shortcuts. Isn't that nice? You should say, yes, that's so nice.
That's so nice.
Awesome. Yes, number 3, I pushed copy paste too many times. That's okay. Cross out those numbers and put in these new numbers. Anybody want to use Savannah's trick for our y-intercept? Do you remember what she looked for? Anybody remember besides me? Ellie?
It's going to 5.
Oh, you want to do the slope?
Yeah.
Sure, great. Has anybody else been writing run and rise above there? Oh, thank you, Savannah. Oh, thank you, Zach. It really helps me. I bet it could help you also. Sorry, Ellie, go.
So -18 to -9 is +9.
Oh, she found a pattern. +9 all the way down.
Same on the other side.
Same on the other side. Rise 9, run 9. Rise 9, run 9. Rise 9, run 9. Allison?
If I put it to 1,
Or we could just call it 1. Rise 1, run 1. Rise 1, run 1. Savannah?
+0.
I know why you think that, not quite. Where the run is 0, where the run is 0,
No.
ooh, this would be a low one. My graph would start way down here at -9. Who needs help? We got this? We already know what we're doing. You already looked for a pattern in the next one.
Yes.
Did anybody look right, run and rise? It's helpful. Zach, do you see any, Zach Waits, do you see any pattern happening in our rise numbers?
+6,
You're very close.
+6.
Subtract 6, because I have to go back to 0. Does that make sense? Weston, do you see any pattern happening in our run numbers?
Subtracted.
Think if you're at -3 and you go towards 0. Nice. Guess what you two just found?
Rise and run.
The rise and run, the slope. Down 6, run 3. Down 6, run 3, P.
-3/1.
Oh, simplify, he says.
Or -2.
If you divide 6 by 3. 2, yep. F of x equals down 2, run 1, x plus
0.
that goes through. Hey, look at that. Where x is 0, so is y. It's the next row on yours, right? Okay, did anybody write run and rise? Besides me and Savannah? Oh, thank you, Allison. Thank you, Ellie. It's helpful. Addison, do you see anything happening in my rise numbers? +2, she says. Taylor, how about these run numbers? Nice, +1, he said. Good work, you two. Guess what you just found? The slope. F of x equals 2/1 x plus. Allie, any idea on the y-intercept? 0. Is it getting easier? I hope so. Drake, any pattern happening in the rise?
+4.
Thank you. Sophie, any pattern happening in the run?
+2.
Thank you. Guess what we just found?
Slope.
Slope. Good job. Listen to this. Rise 4, run 2. Rise 4, run 2. It could be 2. Hey, did you see he switched to Y on that one?
No.
Tricky, the card says. Y equals 2 over 1 x plus. Zach Hellstrom, do you see a Y intercept?
+1.
Plus 1. I'm so proud of you. We're learning. Yay! 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 They try to trick us on these last 3, but we are not going to be tricked. Here's what I would suggest you do. Did you see how those first 6 were in a chart? I would suggest you take these 2 and make a chart. How do I get from 1 to 5, Bryn?
This is 4 and 3 or 4 of the each.
Oh, right. There is a problem, isn't there? There's only 2 dots.
So we have to solve that unless I know the problem makes sense.
What? The pattern would continue, right? So if this is add 4,
That's 9.
this would be add 4. If this is add 1. So once you find the pattern, you could put 27 points on here if you really wanted. Whew, they tried to trick us. We cannot be tricked. You ever straight edge? Drake.
I did a different one. I still have the same answer.
Good.
I put the 8 minus 4 and then 3 minus 2. And then put it with the F like equals X thing.
Yep, we do need to do that. Rise 4, run 1, X. Hey, he didn't tell me Y or F of X this time, so I just picked Y. It's okay. This happened to a couple of people yesterday, and I see it's happening to me now too. Because I don't really know. I'm kind of like at half a box down here, and that doesn't really seem like, we're not really used to half a boxes. Bryn?
It would be, you would just minus 1 and then minus 2 on the other side, and it would just be 0 and negative 3.
You have got to be kidding me. Did you hear this? If we are adding 4 down, Bryn suggests subtract backwards to find the number we needed. Whoa! So if we're going up by 1, she went, this is exactly why. I see why she wanted us to do this. We needed a 0, so she just went back to 0. And if we're going forward 4, she subtracted 4. Negative 3. So now on my graph, when I couldn't quite tell, now I know for sure My dot's at -3. This graphing thing is so cool. It's so weird how these patterns work. Bottom left. What do you think? Same thing. Just because they don't give you an XY chart does not mean you can't make your own. Do we see any? You guys are so quick with this pattern thing. Good job.
Plus,
I don't know, because I didn't do the graph. I just graphed it on.
Oh, you put it on the graph first. That's not a bad idea. My graph's missing for some reason. Bryn?
you can either add the 0 or you can add a 2 and then that'll be 2 and 6.
Just like magically put a 0 there, or?
No, because 1, it's just the run is going up by 1 and the rise is going up by 2. So you just add a 2 and a 6 in between 1 and
Oh. So I wrote it this way on purpose. Did you notice it? I thought we're missing a number in our pattern, so I left a space for a 2. So if I'm going 1, 2, 3, also let's look at this for a second. Pretend those aren't there. What's my pattern from 4 to 8?
Plus 4.
Plus 4. What's my pattern from 1 to 3?
Plus 3.
I think I have a slope of rise 4, run 2. Rise 4, run 2. Simplify though.
2.
Rise 2, run 1. So there's some numbers hiding in here, like 4 plus 2. 1 plus 1. If you're adding down, what if I want to go the other way?
You subtract.
Subtract. Do you see where we're getting this from? Use the pattern to help us. Maddie,
Oh, wait, never mind.
are you
I got
sure?
it now.
You sure?
Yeah.
Godiva said a while ago she started with the graph that would not be at that point to help her figure it out. What's wrong with that?
No.
Right, nothing. If she wants to use the graph to help her, she can use the graph to help her. So I had those 2 points. If I was going to be Godiva and started with that, did I draw a straight line? What's the y-intercept? Oh, that's where the chart helps me. I should have, oh, it's kind of a crooked line. Oops. So we can use the graph and the chart together. Slope.
Rise 2, run 1.
Rise 2, run 1. Plus
2.
2. Are you following me? The rain put everybody to sleep. Last one. I had a feeling that the same thing was going to happen, so I kind of left myself some room. Exploits, are you ready for this? How would I start at 4 and get all the way to -4?
Subtract 8.
Nice! Weston, you ready? How would I start at -3 and get all the way to 3?
That's 6.
Woo! So right now it's looking like my slope is down 8, run 6. Down 8, run 6. Maddie?
You could simplify that.
I could use that simplifying thing.
And then, do we have to add a 0 somehow?
Oh, so we're using our new pattern, she says, to help us find more points. So instead of -8, let's do -4. 4 minus 4, 0. Instead of add 6, let's add 3. -3 plus 3.
0.
I think I needed that. That's my y-intercept. Down 4, run 3, y-intercept 0. Do you think you got it?
Yeah.
Who wants to ask for more help? Get it, got it, good.